This is ABC 7 News at 6.
There are new details about the service for a firefighter who died Sunday from the injuries he sustained fighting the Robbins Lumber Mill fire. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. 76-year-old Wayne Woodbury of Belmont was the assistant fire chief in Searsmont. He had been in a Portland hospital since the fire and explosion. A procession and honorable transfer was held on Monday as his body was brought back to a funeral home in Belfast. The memorial service is now planned for 1 p.m. on Wednesday, June 24th at Belfast Area High School. Well, tonight, firefighters remain on scene at the Eagle Point Energy Center in Orrington, nearly 24 hours after a massive fire broke out at the facility. Our Alex Schley has more on the extensive response and why air quality became a major concern for nearby communities.
Just before 9:30 Tuesday night, the Orrington Fire Department was dispatched to the Eagle Point Energy Center. Upon arriving at the trash incinerator off River Road, Fire Chief Scott Stewart says crews were met with heavy flames.
Immediately, we ramped up our response to bring in other units.
Stewart says mutual aid from over a dozen departments were dispatched.
But you know, when Newport Fire Department showing up in Orrington, that's not a typical day. And there was several of those towns, and certainly without those people, this looks very different.
This is not the first time fire officials have been dispatched to this facility. Less than 2 years ago, in October 2024, a similar fire broke out, the cause of which was never determined. State and federal agencies were called in to monitor potential impacts on the surrounding area.
DEP's been here with us most of the night. EPA arrived today. We expect some sort of findings.
Wednesday morning, the Maine Department of Environmental Protection reported air quality in the area had reached unhealthy levels due to elevated particle pollution. At the height of the fire, officials issued an air quality alert for people living in the area.
But it's not what's burning or just because there's a fire. We need to, as far as air quality alerts go, we need to have evidence that particle pollution levels near the ground are rising to a level that would be concerning for people's health.
Despite air quality returning to normal Wednesday afternoon, officials say they are continuing to monitor the situation. Fire officials say a crew will remain on scene throughout the night to monitor hotspots. In Orrington, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Meanwhile, a scary scene in Hollowell Tuesday came to light today with security cameras capturing the moment that several pedestrians narrowly avoid an out-of-control vehicle in front of City Hall. It is important to note before watching the video that no one was injured, but take a look. At the beginning, you can see pedestrians coming down the street. Shortly thereafter, you can see the vehicle rush through, so you have pedestrians there. You see a code enforcement officer come down the stairs right there and continue on their way. And then in comes that speeding Mustang taking out a street light post, its hood flipping up, the car going up on the sidewalk, narrowly missing those pedestrians. Now, according to the city's Facebook page, once out of view, the Mustang continued down Winthrop Street and through the intersection on Water Street, barely missing other pedestrians and cars before finally coming to a stop near the bandstand. The cause was later determined to be a floor mat that had slid forward and become lodged against the accelerator. Certainly a cautionary tale there, and so thankful no one was hurt. Well, in other news tonight, Maine's primary polls closed over a week ago, but we're still awaiting results for ranked choice voting tabulations. Our Callie Warren is standing by live in Augusta, where officials say they hope to have all the results this evening, but that has been an evolving situation. Callie, what can you tell us?
Thanks, Beth. Well, we are now expecting to see those results coming through tomorrow. I am here with Chief Deputy Secretary of State Kate McBrien for some updates on the process. Now, I know that you've said we've seen some slight delays here.
Just like in any ranked choice voting tabulation, we run into just small issues where the numbers reported by the town don't quite match what our tabulation shows. So we just take the time to investigate and make sure we're getting exactly the right numbers and everything is accounted for.
Yeah, fantastic. And I know that we've only seen really ranked choice voting in effect since 2018. So obviously it's still fairly new to our voters, fairly new to some of these folks here that are helping to make these tabulations tonight. Are these setbacks considered standard?
This is very typical for any election and certainly for any ranked choice voting election. So we see this every year. We're used to dealing with it, and we have processes in place to investigate and come up and make sure that we have exactly every vote counted for.
Okay, awesome. And I know a lot of folks are anxious to know. So tomorrow is kind of the hopeful time that we'll see everything?
It is. We're aiming for tomorrow. Little things come up, and we want to take the time to address it and make sure we have all the right data before we actually run the ranked choice tabulation. So we think tomorrow.
Okay, fantastic. Well, we'll keep our eyes peeled tomorrow, and thank you so much for being here. We so appreciate it. And yeah, that's all we have for right now, but back to you in studio, Beth.
Kelly, thank you. Maine's Department of Corrections Commissioner went before the Government Oversight Committee today. Randall Liberty answered questions about transgender policy, including housing biological male inmates with females and how transgender inmates' rights and concerns were viewed by staff. Take a listen.
Sitting here as a legislator on this committee, we've got a bunch of stuff in front of us that says there are people that do not feel safe in your custody. How would you respond to that?
Thank you, Senator. I would say this: in the 8 years that I've been sitting in this position, my team and I have, I would say it'd be fair to say, we have managed more than 10,000 state prisoners. And I would ask this committee, how many letters have you received of those 10,000 that have chronic persistent mental illness, that have severe addiction issues, that have significant trauma backgrounds, have significant criminal backgrounds? I would ask this committee, how many letters have you received of the 10,000 people that I have managed in the last 8 years?
Well, Liberty told the committee that any allegation or concern from a corrections resident is significantly investigated. MDI Health is launching a new screening mammogram scholarship program. A statement says it's made possible through an $80,000 two-year grant from the Maine Cancer Foundation. The program will help remove financial barriers that prevent patients from accessing routine breast cancer screening, which they say is one of the most effective tools for early detection and improved treatment outcomes. President and CEO of MDI Health, Chrissy McGuire, says the partnership with Maine Cancer Foundation ensures that every patient who needs a mammogram gets it, regardless of income or insurance status. Well, for families who rely on school lunches, summer can be a difficult time of year. As our Grace Blanchard explains, the Bangor School Department is helping to ensure its students have access to food all year long.
For many students, school is not just a place to learn. It's also a reliable source of a well-balanced meal.
Learning is able to happen when there's better behavior and you focus on what you can learn rather than whether or not you're hungry.
According to the Bangor School Department Food Service Director, they've noticed an increase in need ever since offering free meals to students, which began during the 2023 to 2024 school year.
We've seen quite a big increase in lunch and in breakfast.
To help address food insecurity, that service is also carried over into the state-funded summer lunch program, which kicks off next week.
We have cold pizza, we have sandwiches, we have fruit and vegetables and milk. And then for breakfast, we have some breakfast items like muffins, cereal, yogurt.
For nearly a decade, the department has partnered with Good Shepherd Food Bank, but this is the first year the program will be fully run by Bangor schools. The meals will be offered at 3 locations: the Rock Church, 14th Street School, and the Bangor Splash Pad.
They do need to eat the meals on site, that's all we ask. But any children 1 to 18 can come and receive a meal.
The program runs all summer long. Dates and times can be found on the school department website. In Bangor, Grace Blanchard, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
And folks, we'll hit pause now and take a first look at our forecast.
All right, well, we had some air quality problems for us today. We do have an air quality alert out there until tonight at 11 p.m. We also have a gale watch, basically just saying that there's going to be some gusty winds out there as well. However, we did have a nice day temperature-wise. We were in those mid to upper 70s. Some spots even reached 80. Beautiful day out there for us today with our temperatures. Not so much for us tomorrow. We are going to be much cooler tomorrow than we were today. And also today we did have a few showers and thunderstorms, especially in the northern portion of the state. And that's going to kind of linger overnight tonight. Into tomorrow, clouds roll in, and then we got rain showers and thunderstorms that roll in for much of the day for us tomorrow. For tonight, temperatures are going to fall into the low 50s. Beth?
Anna, thank you. And we'll be taking a look at national news just ahead.
On the Road, broadcasting the news at 6, live from Machias, is brought to you by 103 Main, right in the heart of Machias. Gifts, sweet treats, local favorites. Shop local and find something to smile about. Test your skills on a True Links course situated in Jonesboro on the coast of Maine. Barren View Golf Course is a great treat for golfers of all levels. Top-notch detailing in Herman. Give me a call today to schedule your appointment. 232-2933.
Brand name footwear for hardworking days and laid-back nights. We've got it. Miller's Workshop, Acme Road in Brewer, for brands that work. Don't miss the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at the Cross Insurance Center. Browse the largest display of hot tubs, cold therapy tubs, swim spas, and saunas in the region, with over 50 spas at up to 50% off this weekend at the Cross Insurance Center. Visit hottubshow.com.
Are your basement walls bowing, crumbling, or failing? Hi, I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems, all things basementy. Our Stable Lock wall system offers a patented, affordable, and permanent solution to save your foundation walls. It stabilizes, fills voids, and structurally repairs, leaving a new smooth surface. All the strength of new walls. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
Graham Plattner blamed women for getting raped. Who says something like that? Plattner said women should take some responsibility for themselves and not get so effed up they wind up having sex with someone they don't mean to. What's wrong with this guy?
Plattner said to avoid rape, women should act like an adult for F's sake. He's an awful person.
Graham Plattner is dangerous.
I would never vote for Graham Plattner.
Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Cancer affects everyone, but there is hope. Northern Light Eastern Maine Medical Center's Champion the Cure Challenge. Make a difference for our loved ones facing cancer at Champion the Cure Challenge, where every dollar raised helps patients in our own backyard. Walk, run, or cycle August 15th. Join the motorcycle ride or car show August 16th. Take the challenge to surround family and friends in cancer treatment. Celebrate survivors, remember loved ones we've lost, and lift up our community. Join us. Visit ctcchallenge.org.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
President Trump kicked off his final day of the G7 summit with few public details about the deal he made with Iran and more conflicting statements about what's in it. He heads back to the U.S. tonight. ABC's Karen Travers is in Geneva, Switzerland, with the latest there.
President Trump wrapping up the G7 summit in France, Iran the dominant issue. The president defending the still not released publicly memo of understanding signed by the U.S. and Iran on Sunday.
We're going to most likely sign a deal. They want to sign a deal, and they've been acting very appropriately.
G7 leaders announcing their support for the agreement, although it's not clear if they have all seen the document. In a joint statement, the leaders calling it a breakthrough, writing, "We support and are ready to contribute to its implementation." But back in Washington, even Republican leaders have been left in the dark.
Until I get more specific information, I'm going to hesitate to say anything more about it.
Democrats accusing the administration of hiding something.
They're afraid it will show that Trump has capitulated and been taken advantage of.
As part of this deal, the U.S. agreed to lift the blockade of Iranian ports, and Iran would reopen the Strait of Hormuz. There will now be 60 days of negotiations over the future of Iran's nuclear program. Still unclear, financial rewards for Iran, including the unfreezing of Iran's assets and lifting of sanctions. Two officials tell ABC News that under the deal, Iran is expected to be allowed to freely sell oil. The president pushed back on reports that the U.S. would invest in Iran through a $300 billion fund, but said that it's, quote, fine if other nations do.
Some people may want to invest. Like, what are you going to do? Say you can never, ever invest in a country? I mean, it's pretty tough.
The U.S.-Iran agreement is expected to be formally signed here in Switzerland on Friday, with Vice President Vance making the trip for the United States. Asked today how confident he is that will happen, the president said, "You never know with deals." Karen Travers, ABC News, Geneva, Switzerland.
And just ahead, folks, we have sports and your full forecast. Stay with us.
Maine may be a small state, but we face big challenges, and Senator Susan Collins delivers solutions. When our veterans were left out in the cold, Susan Collins secured $3.6 million to help end veteran homelessness. And Collins co-sponsored the bill to protect military spouses' survivor benefits and provide rural veterans access to VA facilities. With her dedication, Susan Collins secures victories time and again for our veterans. Tell Senator Susan Collins to keep championing solutions for Maine's veterans.
Don't miss the Hot Tub and Swim Spa Blowout Expo this weekend at the Cross Insurance Center. Browse the largest display of hot tubs, cold therapy tubs, swim spas, and saunas in the region, with over 50 spas at up to 50% off this weekend at the Cross Insurance Center. Visit hottubshow.com.
People ask me all the time, does Lowry & Associates really get all of those clients, all of those big settlements? Yes, we do. And you know what else is true? I really am standing on top of this big truck.
Do you have a wet basement, nasty crawl space, settling foundation, sinking concrete, or clogged gutters? I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems, all things basement-y. For over 30 years, thousands of homeowners throughout Maine and southeastern New Hampshire have trusted TC Hafford. Basement waterproofing, crawl space repair, stabilizing foundations, concrete leveling, and gutter installation. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems for all things basement-y.
I learned a thing or two flying Blackhawks for 10 years. Like you never guess on safety. You trust the pros. That's why I trust my doc. Not Dale, who thinks that duct tape fixes everything. Like sunburns. Hang on, Dale, I'll give you a hand. But don't ask me. Or Dale. Ask your doctor.
This stuff's SPF 1,000,000.
Half-off deals are waiting for you at foxbangor.com. Click on half-off deals and see how much you can save only at foxbangor.com.
Welcome back in, folks. State championship weekend is on the horizon, and once again, the PVHS softball team is back at the dance. The Howlers earned a big come-from-behind win in their Class D North Regional title game against the Katahdin Cougars on Tuesday, highlighted by an inside-the-park home run from junior Abby Farley to take the lead. Senior Lila Cummings says the team's prior experience in play from behind situations kept them composed, and it was a great feeling to see it pay off.
We've had a lot of close games like that these past few games. And like just our team working together, coming back from being down, it felt really good to come out with that win.
That helps so much. I feel like us having those moments in the past has helped with our nerves recently, so we really didn't have an issue yesterday.
The Class D North champs are set to take on North Yarmouth Academy this Saturday at St. Joseph's College down in Standish after suffering losses in the state title game. In each of the last 2 seasons, the Howlers are looking to exercise some past demons.
It would mean so much, especially where we've fallen up short the last 2 years. I think it would mean a lot to the senior class, but also the underclassmen to be part of that with us.
We watched the 2019 softball team win states, so I think it would just mean a lot to the whole community to just finish this one out on a huge high note.
Good luck to the Howlers. We'll have more from them later on. The Washington Academy baseball team also punching their ticket to the Class C state championship game on Tuesday night. The top-seeded Raiders defeated the number 2 seed Mattanock Academy by a score of 4-0 to reach the Class C state title game. They dominated the contest from start to finish, scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the first and only allowing 4 hits throughout the game while recording 7 hits of their own and even stranding 8 runners on base. However, as satisfying of a result it was for the Raiders, they say it's the standard.
I mean, it feels great, but to be honest, it's our expectation at this point. Like, we work hard every day, 3-hour practices. This is our goal every year, and it's kind of expected at this point. And we've got one more, but we expect to win that too, to be honest. That is our main goal. We have signs in the outfield that we just want to put one up that says 2026.
Washington Academy will have a chance to hang that banner this weekend as that one more comes on Saturday at 1 p.m. against Monmouth Academy for a chance to win a state title at Mansfield Stadium. Mahar says the key to success come Saturday is going to come from within.
Heart. We all want it. We all know that it's like what we need. Like, it's just a desire, and we got grit, hard work, all of it.
Good luck to the Raiders as well. For now, that's all the time we have for sports. Here's your full 5-day forecast.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Rogan's Memorials. Give the gift of comfort through thoughtful planning with locations in Bangor, Bucksport, and Lincoln. Well, we're going to take a look at those temperatures out there for today. We had a very nice day temperature-wise. We were in those mid to upper 70s. Some spots even reached 80, a little bit cooler along that coastline. However, still a very nice day for us temperature-wise. Going to cool down for us tonight and not get very high or warm for us tomorrow. Temperatures are going to be sticking around in those 60s, and then we return back to the 70s for us on Friday. This is kind of what we're looking at. So tomorrow, that's right, you are seeing 66 and then 79. Big change up for us between Thursday and Friday. And then we're going to be sitting in those low to mid 70s out there for much of next week. Now, we do have that air quality alert here in the Bangor area until tonight at 11 p.m. That's just basically saying the air quality is not great outside right now. And then we also have that gale watch out there. Basically, that's saying is that it is going to be breezy, especially along that coastline, and some gusty winds out there for us. Now, also, we had some rain showers and thunderstorms move through earlier today and are ongoing currently. And we have more rain showers and thunderstorms making their way for us tomorrow. So this is what's happening currently. We have some rain showers and thunderstorms, especially in the northern portion of the state. And this is part of all of this that is going to come through and span through the next couple of days for us. So we're looking for tomorrow. We got showers and thunderstorms making their way through, starting in the morning hours and lasting for much of the day tomorrow. There will be a couple dry pockets in there, but otherwise it's going to be lots of rainfall and lots of thunderstorms possible for us tomorrow. That's kind of going to be spinning above us for a couple of days, bringing numerous different rounds of showers and thunderstorms. This is what I'm looking at. Friday, we got rainfall. Saturday, we got rain showers and thunderstorms. Sunday, another round of rain showers and thunderstorms for us. And Monday, another rain showers and thunderstorm chance for us as well. Now for tonight, temperatures in those low 50s with partly cloudy skies, and then we will have some areas of dense fog with those dew points meeting those temperatures. Now for tomorrow, temperatures are going to be in those mid 60s to upper 60s in some spots. It's going to be much cooler than it was today with those showers and thunderstorms. Now taking a look at your extended forecast, we got thunderstorms tomorrow and Friday, temperatures in those upper 70s Friday before we drop back down into those low to mid 70s for Saturday with rain chances, Sunday with thunderstorm chances, and then Monday looks to stay dry with mostly cloudy skies.
Thank you, Anna. We will be right back after the break.
Are you experiencing foot pain? Comfort Shoes & More has a team of experts trained in pet orthics to help you find relief. They offer tailored fittings, shoe modifications, customized orthotics, and much more for the ordinary or for the hard-to-fit foot, with fashionable and functional footwear from today's top brands: Hoka, Brooks, Keen, Teva, Taos, Ufus, and Birkenstocks. From running to walking, casual or dress, they have it all. Take the drive to Newport for a sit and fit to find your perfect fit. You and your feet will be glad you did.
Do you take propane tank?
Anything goes.
How about cardboard?
Anything goes.
How about old rug?
Yeah, anything goes.
So this too?
Furniture removal, basements, garages, attics, hoarder houses. It doesn't matter here at Anything Goes Junk Removal. Anything goes. Well, almost anything.
Hello, this is George Whelan with Down East Direct Cremation. Now, anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, from the comfort of your desktop or the convenience of your mobile device, you can summon transport and arrange a simple, affordable, respectful Down East Direct Cremation for your deceased loved one. Just by using the button exclusively at downeastdirectcremation.com. All you need is the location address of the person who has died, their vital statistics information, a valid credit card for payment, and that's it. No need to pick up the telephone, no need to answer a bunch of questions, no need to come into the store, and it's still just $9.75 complete. It's so easy, even I can do it. For more information, visit us at downeastdirectcremation.com or call us at 207-225-5332. Simple, affordable, respectful. The button, only at downeastdirectcremation.com.
As a doctor in rural Maine, we're already seeing the impact. Susan Collins voted to support Donald Trump on the largest Medicaid cut in history. Healthcare is getting even more expensive. People are losing coverage. Our hospitals are closing, and the worst is yet to come. But Susan Collins gave Trump a blank check for his war in Iran. Billions of dollars that we could use here in Maine. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop siding with Donald Trump. We can't afford it.
The Maine DOT is meeting with the public and moving forward with plans to reconstruct the Little Deer Isle Causeway to help make it more resistant to storm surge, such that access to and from the island is not cut off during severe weather. Maine DOT says the project consists of restructuring the causeway so that it is elevated, widening the roadway to include 5-foot wide shoulders, placing a sloping protective facing along the embankment or shoreline to absorb the energy of incoming water, wind, or weather, preventing soil erosion, and providing access management of drives and entrances. Now, DOT's plan is to start advertising to contractors and begin construction this fall. The project is expected to be completed in the fall of 2029. Well, a first-of-its-kind assembly was held in Bangor to address the priorities of education in Maine. Our Sam Miller has the story.
Mainers gathered at the United Technologies Center in Bangor for the first ever Citizen Assembly on Education, an initiative created to provide lawmakers research and data in order to make decisions about education in Maine. The event allows for Maine residents to have a role in building the future of the pre-K through 12 education system, with 64 delegates selected from a random lottery pool of volunteers to participate. Delegates heard from education officials on a panel where they described their own unique experiences and perspectives about the challenges they face in classrooms across the state, such as mental health crisis and student engagement. Jennifer Chase, the Assistant Director of the Center for Education, Policy, Applied Research and Evaluation, highlighted what kind of impact citizen meetings have on everyone involved.
One thing that I think is incredibly important here is that you see people actually look around the room. People are having hope. People look like they actually feel like they matter. They're standing up a little bit, they're engaging, they're walking right up to legislators and asking questions. So my greatest goal for this event is that people walk away feeling their voice matters and they have hope for a better future.
Education officials added that involving students in the conversation of the curriculum increases their overall productivity. Chris Betts, an alternative education teacher, says taking an outside-of-the-box approach to education helps keep learning fresh and engaging.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun working with young people and getting to know them over the course of your time with them and helping them reach their goals beyond the high school environment. Yeah, it's great.
The long-term goal with the Citizens Assembly is to be used and improved upon by others in order to tackle the harder issues in Maine. In Bangor, Sam Miller, ABC7 and Fox 22 News.
And that is going to do it for us, folks. From everyone here at ABC7 News, take care and have a great rest of your night. And for more, join us over on Fox 22 News tonight at 6:30.
the Gulf Coast bracing for what could be the first tropical storm of the season, with more than 40 million also on alert for severe and destructive storms and flash flooding, where the extreme and dangerous weather is headed next. World News Tonight with David Muir, the most watched newscast in America.
Grant Platinum called rural men stupid and racist.
You're calling me stupid?
That's not why I kept calling the police.
I think she's just doing it out of spite because I was forced to call the police to do a welfare check.
Because he refused to let me see my daughter.
Because she wasn't allowing me to get my daughter as the court appointed agreement.
He kept her from me for 3 weeks.
So she just did it because I did it.
I didn't know where she was.
The thing is, she dropped my baby off and told me to keep her.
And I wasn't able to talk to her or see her.
So I'm not just going to give her back to you if you relinquish your responsibilities as a mother. I'm not doing it.
I hope we can continue to co-parent.
We have court in January. I'm trying to get full custody, so hopefully I can get full custody and I don't have to deal with this.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
There are new details about the service for a firefighter who died Sunday from the injuries he sustained fighting the Robbins Lumber Mill fire. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones. 76-year-old Wayne Woodbury of Belmont was the assistant fire chief in Searsmont. He had been in a Portland hospital since the fire and explosion. A procession and honorable transfer was held on Monday as his body was brought back to a funeral home in Belfast. A memorial service is planned for 1 p.m. on Wednesday, June 24th at Belfast Area High School. Well, tonight, firefighters remain on scene at the Eagle Point Energy Center in Orrington, nearly 24 hours after a massive fire broke out at the